family, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together and we talk about what's going on in the world of the Auburn family spectrum. Always heavy on the sports here on this channel, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching live or on the replay. We appreciate you joining us and just hanging out with us for a few minutes, and we'll take you however we can get you on a very somber and a very sad live stream that we have here. On this live stream, a very short one, on the road, we're going to be discussing, reacting to Auburn versus Alabama. The Tigers fall to the Crimson Tide by the score of 24-22, I think is what it was. Trying to not remind myself of what's taken place thus far. But just here to offer some initial thoughts, reactions, opinions. Want to hear some of yours as well. So you can do a couple things for us. If you're watching live, just make sure you smash that like button. We appreciate you doing that. It helps share it out to other people, and then offer a comment or anything like that you potentially want to share about the game. And again, we apologize for the light situation, but as always, when we're on the road, we do this from the car because that's where we have to do it. 24-22, I think, again, was the final score. Auburn falling in triple overtime to the Crimson Tide. And I think, honestly, if we're just all being completely honest with ourselves, we shouldn't have even been there. There was no way that Auburn was going to be able, in any realm of possibility this season, be in this game with Alabama. And yet, somehow, some way, they did it. Somehow, they were able to compete. Somehow, they were able to put together some semblance of drives to cause turnovers, to play defense, and to show a lot of heart and a lot of fight. And so, I'm not trying to make this into a moral victory scenario, but I am trying to say that there are some things that you can take away from this game that are somewhat pleasant, somewhat good, somewhat, I guess in some sense of the word, a moral victory. But I'll say this much, that Alabama team is not that good. There is no way on earth that Alabama team should have struggled to move the ball, should have struggled to defend us, should have struggled us to, do anything to get going. And can we help y'all?
What? No.
We're yeah. Wow, we've got some people trying to be really gross over here. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so we just, the fact that Alabama was able to do what they, or not able to do anything, basically, was just quite a shock to me. That was probably my biggest reaction from this game. The other problem that I have is that Auburn had this one literally in the palm of their hand. Had it there, had everything. And Jessica and I, who was at the game with me today, we've been discussing that, on the way back, that's the frustrating thing about this. It's not so much the loss, because we kind of anticipated losing. The thing that's frustrating is because we had Bryce Young's Heisman in our hands. We had their championship season in our hands. We had everything, and it just went by the wayside. And it's just the continued story of the entirety of the second half of the season of putting yourself in a position to win and not being able to finish. And that's really what it amounts to. Unfortunately, the Tigers are just not able to finish when it counts this season. Some of those reasons are because of injuries. Some of those reasons are because of deficiencies at certain positions. But overall, the Tigers obviously had very much a rebuilding year. The Tigers just had too much to overcome at this point. And I think that's the biggest thing that people need to take away from this, is that this was going to be a rebuilding year. A lot of people weren't able to process that, weren't able to reason with that. But a rebuilding year is what this was going to be the entire time, and it's finally set in. I think that's what it's going to be. So a lot of questions move on to the offseason, who's going to leave, who's going to stay. I know everybody's got opinions about fire this person, fire that person, hope this person transfers out, hope that person transfers in. All of that will take care of itself. Right now, the important thing is to figure out how to become the best version of ourselves in the next couple of weeks for a bowl game, because we will go bowling, believe it or not. We will be able to compete against a somewhat probably formidable opponent. It should probably be someone from the Conference USA or something like that. If they match us up with Gus Malzahn and UCF, heads are going to roll, and that's going to be really, really fun to watch. Just overall thoughts from the game, I think that the defensive line are probably the winners of this game in terms of just, making a humongous difference, really exposing Alabama's offensive line. Punter, you cannot take away. He put us in a position to win, and we weren't able to close out and finish. You can also say that, the defense kind of fell apart there at the end, but they gave us an opportunity to win, and they weren't getting as much support from the offense. So that's really what it amounts to, is that this entire season there's been different teams, different units that have all been working, but at the same time the other 1, 2, or 3 weren't working in coordination with them. So that's it. Season's over for the regular season. It's time to move on to that. I said this was going to be a short one, and we're just going to kind of leave it at that right now. But we're going to be going live again on Monday night, where we'll actually sit down, break down the game, grade it out. It'll be a very interesting one to grade out, because you would think in a loss that you would have a lot of strong opinions about grading out some people very poorly, and there's probably going to be a lot of that. But there's some players that really deserve some recognition and really deserve to be graded out probably a lot better than we want to at this very moment, dealing with this loss. But and in closing, I will say this, and I find this very interesting. For the most part, because there are always those ones, the Alabama fans are very quiet leaving I was about to say Bryant-Denny, but Jordan-Hare Stadium. There wasn't a lot of chanting. There wasn't a lot of cheering. And we even had an Alabama fan saying that y'all should, we had a bunch of people leading. It's great to be an Auburn Tiger on the way out. That said, y'all should be cheering that louder right now. So we want a lot of respect. And I know I've said that before about the Penn State game. I know that's frustrating for some people to process, but you walked away impressing some people that are going to be playing probably for a national title. You need to take a little solace in that. So that's my thoughts, my initial reactions. I know not the most fun and entertaining ones, but I hope that you'll share some of yours in the comments, and hopefully we'll put this one to rest, move on to the postseason, and we'll see what happens from there. Make sure you're checking out some of the links in the description for ways you can help support our content here, and also make sure you check out, leave a comment or something like that, and we'll interact with you after the live stream here later on. We have an opportunity to. War Eagle, hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll be back again very soon.